Hello everybody, how's it going? Sorry about that if you heard a banging. That was me trying to figure out why the microphone wasn't working. We're gonna be firing off the show in about 2 minutes. Hopefully y'all are having a great time out there in the GOAT world. Missed you all so much. Yeah, go ahead and switch on over this scene here. You have a new camera angle. Hopefully y'all are doing well out there. Oh, it's been a busy week for me. We have a pretty stacked show for you guys today. Good morning, brother from Greece. How's it going, Nico? How you doing? We're going to be firing off here very shortly. Very shortly. Let me just get some last second things here all situated. And then I'll be going on to the music. We're going to be using for the show. Cub, I saw that you put a video out on this on the list, Cub. Feels good to be on top. Hopefully you're doing well out there, Cub. Welcome. Let's switch on over to this music here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GOAT format wrap-up, covering everything in the GOAT format scene, news, comments, concerns. Everything's going to be covered here, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to GOAT format wrap-up. Episode 1. Special episode today is going to be the PWCQ. We also have some other things on the docket, so stay tuned. On the docket today, everybody. How to beat you to it. It's my full-time job. Cub, man. No, but I appreciate you. If there was anybody that I want on my side as far as content creation goes, being in the same genre of sorts or in the same scene, it's got to be the Cub, sir. And if you want to see more of the Cub, we did a stream last week for Thursday with Cub Games, talking about Pac-Man and a little bit of YouTube or YouTube in general. If you want to know more about the Cubster himself, as well as some Pac-Man knowledge, sure check out that stream archive. I'm thinking about uploading highlights or like stream archives as like videos. I'm thinking about it. We'll see how people react to it. On today's docket, everybody, on a wonderful Monday evening for me, might be Tuesday morning for you guys, might be Monday night for you. Not too sure. It's PST, so I have the worst time zone pretty much. PST is the worst one to have. It's the unluckiest role if you want to do GOAT format stuff. I'm jet lagged. My wife and I went from where we live in NYC to the Philippines. Now we're back in NYC. I'm tired. Get some rest, Liquid Rax. Hopefully you had a good time in the Philippines. Never went. So on today's docket, the Germans invade GOAT format Friday. Going to be starting off with that one for the day. Academy is exploding, not in, with players. The PWCQ Finals replay review. You know, if y'all didn't see the end to the PWCQ stream I did, it kind of ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger because they rescheduled the finals to that Wednesday. We're going to be taking a look at it, everybody. Don't you worry. I want to get y'all on the scoop of what came out on top. And then we're going to go over the top 8 deck lists for the PWCQ 81. Pretty huge PWCQ. Okay, 64 players, 2 invites. Monumental, some would say. Then we're going to take a look at some upcoming GOAT format events, and then we'll close out from there, as well as some various news involving the YouTube channel. Okay, who's excited? It's going to be a little bit on the chiller side today, everybody. So stay tuned. Grab yourself some water, get some chips, maybe some wine. If you like that kind of stuff, sit down and relax, everybody. Let the tooth guide you through what's going on. Let the tooth show you the truth, okay? So the Germans have officially invaded Go Format Fridays. Look at this. 5 out of the last 6 Go Format Fridays have been won by Germans. We have Akko, return winner, Killer, Martin, Killer once more. Killer is cooking. Okay, Killer out here absolutely cooking. Okay. Look at this. If you're a German, you must be feeling pretty good. Most of these, hey, at least, oh, hold on. Liquid Rack says, hey, at least it's better than the last time. No, I'm not gonna. A lot of these are also from Team Iron Goat. So, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that, you know, this is just a small, if anything, this is a small example, to me at least, of the huge wave of German players coming out and showing up. I mean, obviously you have some people in the hot seat here. I mean, Killer is phenomenal at the game as is, right? Like, this guy is just on a tear, you know. Top 8 at Worlds, you know, always out here, always playing, always grinding. You love to see it. I love it. I love seeing a player just, you know, he might be one of the best, but he's still out here competing. And that's what I like to see. I don't like it when players get stagnant. Once they reach the top 10, they're just like, screw it. History joke. I'm sorry. No, you're good, Rax. Don't even worry. We'll see return winner here. You know, if you pay attention to Yugi Tubes, you'll know about return winner. He also plays in a ton of events as well. Great player in his own right. You may know him from his time playing Burn as being one of the more prominent Burn players. Shout out to return winner. And of course, Akko. Friend of the show, Akko here. Of course, getting his win here as well. Huge grinder. Historically, as said, sleep is the cousin of death. These players just refuse to sleep. You know, keep in mind, 7 p.m. Eastern, that's super freaking late. You're playing into the morning when you're a German rocking that type of schedule. Like, look at that. Insanity. Okay, 5 out of the last 6. The one being Confuse Ray. Confuse Ray kind of breaking the silence here. I didn't want to put his up here, but he did break the chain here. Shout out to Confuse Ray. Great player. To comment on this, we have return winner. And this is what he had to say about Germans winning multiple Go Format Fridays in a row, kind of taking over the GoFormat.com server with all these Friday wins. More specifically in reference to Team Iron Goat, which him, Akko, and Killer are a part of, is what he had to say about it. Team Iron Goats advocating for a big War League rules change. The German star-studded team seems to have found the reason for their mid-debut season and want to resolve the issue for rule change, pitching their idea to the War Chiefs. Breaking news here, everybody. After winning 3 Go Format Fridays in a row by rotating members Killer, return winner, and Akko, the team found out that they can only win while playing on Fridays, subsequently pitching War League matches only to be played on Friday from now on. Big rule change if this happens. I'm sure to see the developments on Team Iron Goats. Iron Goats seems to be it's going to, I think it, you know, seems to be pretty compact of good players, man. The Germans are breeding champions out there, you know, pure beasts. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the time to put this quote in, but Akko also left me a comment here. I'm going to read this off here. Can't let Killer win too many Fridays, said Akko. Shout out to Akko. Friend of the show, great player. He should be on in a 2 Thursday in the near future, everybody. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? The Academy. Exploding popularity. Currently, there's 27 active Sliffers as of when I wrote this. There might be more, there might be less. 91 active players in the Sliffers, and 4 brackets have already fired, and 1 already concluded. And the season started at, you know, not too long ago. People are beasting through these brackets, everybody. And I'm a huge fan. I'm a big proponent and a big supporter of the the Go Format Europe server and the academy that they have going on here. So I really did want to feature this in today because I think it's a great way to play. Personally speaking, I can definitely understand why there's so many players invested in the academy. It's super easy to get your game scheduled. You get 7 days to play, guys. If that's not the most schedule-friendly way to play, I don't know what is. Cub just said it's joined a Slifer. Good luck out there, buddy. Knowing you, though, I would not want to trade blows with you. It'd be rough. It'd be rough for me. Cub, of course, also played an Obelisk. I played in an Obelisk before. The whole series is pretty fun. For those who don't know, Go Format Europe hosts the academy, and the academy goes through 3 waves essentially as you play through here. You first start off in Slifer brackets, which are single elimination 8-man tournaments. I'm the only one in there. Stop the count. And then if you win, decklists are unlocked for Slifer, so you can always change decks around. There's no commitment to one deck if you don't want to. Then there's the Raws. The Raws are 4-man double elim locked decklists. And then once you beat through that, you go ahead to the Obelisk locked decklist 8-man double elim bracket. And that is, if you win that, you get your invite. So it's going to take, obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer than, playing in a GFC or a PWCQ or FLC or, any other way, really. But this, it's going to take a lot longer because of the 7-day, rounds, essentially. But, this is for the people that can't really play in the single-day events. And I think it's a great way to get your invite if you don't have the ability to. It especially for people like me, we're in the modern day, right? Mr. Oak, what does PWCQ mean? It means Premium World Championship Qualifier. We just had our first one of the season last week, and I'm going to be covering that today. But first, I just want to knock out the other news I wanted to point out. First being the Germans invading the Go Format Fridays and the Academy now. We're in a modern world where not everybody has a Monday through Friday work schedule, and I think that stuff like this is particularly really amazing for those that can't really participate in those weekend events. Like me, for example, my days off are Thursdays and Fridays at work. I work the weekends. So having something like an academy, if I really wanted to be the best player in the world and get an invite, knowing that I could grind these, there's an option for me. That's pretty great. The one downside I have personally is my time zone cooks me. My time zone makes so I can't really play these too well. If you're PST, you know what I'm talking about. CS, great news to Go Format players. Snatch Steel reprint as a rare and Book of Tayu. Wow, Empty Jar's kind of eating good here too. Damn, I should do academy. Yes, you should, CG. Get in there and play. Like I said, though, the only downside is if you're PST like me, expect to wake up very, very early. I'm talking like 3 a.m. Expect waking up at 3 a.m. if you want to play against some of these CET time zone players. Okay, that's the difficult part. Like I said at the beginning of the show, PST has the worst. Is dealt the worst hand as far as Go Format goes. It's pretty unfortunate. But you know what? At least if you wanted to get in there and show your grit, I know Xander, NZXER, shout out, plays in these quite a bit, and he's PST. He doesn't live too far from me, actually. Shout out to him, friend of the show. If you're really dedicated, you still can do it this way and secure an invite. And let's press forward. I reached out to a couple of the worst ghosts. I reached out to Nessa Pugliata, staff member at the Go Format Europe server. seeing if he had any comment. He sent me a very thoughtful comment. I had to condense it a little bit, Nessa. I'm sorry, but I brought it up to some of my favorite points here involving the Academy. And this is what he had to say about it. Again, this isn't all he sent, but I thought it was all well written, and so I wanted to condense some of my favorite bullet points onto here. CG said, "I'm lucky enough to be EST and an Insomniac." Then, dude, what are you doing here, man? Get on Academy and get the grinding, get that invite. On Academy's success to attract players, Nessa Puyata had this to say: "All members of the community respect hugely Fox, and he's doing a great job." Shout out to Ledgewin Fox. I got to meet him. Very nice person. Wonderful guy. He really is a unsung hero of Go format. I gotta say that much. He's everywhere. He's a chief in Warrior League. He's admin in GoFormat.com, and he's also a admin in Go Format Europe. What more could you ask for out of a guy? Seriously. Time flexibility is a really great thing for some people. They could not spend a day of their weekend to play for a major event. We went over that, and I agree with Nessa. So people knowing that they both keep personal life and their hobby balance is a really great motive. I agree. That work-life balance is very important. And then also, of course, being able to separate yourself from a hobby. What is favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card? Mine is non-tournament worthy in weak Cat's Ear Tribe. Mine is Abyss Soldier. Another card I badly want reprinted is Abyss Soldier. Its last printing was in 2013. I agree. We should get like ultra rare Abyss Soldiers. Give me like platinum rare Abyss Soldier. To sum it up, I want to help by my side to make Academy bigger, maybe through Instagram. Also, your invite to speak about it is really helpful. Well, I appreciate Nessa very much, everybody. Shout out to Nessa. If you see Nessa out there in the Go Format Europe server, give him a shout out. Okay, say hello, thank you for what you do for the community. He's also a staff member at GoFormat.com as well. And I also reached out to Return Winner, who actually sent me a voice message regarding his comment, because he's also staff. Because I don't know, he's also staff of the Academy server. So let me go ahead and play that for you. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. One second. Return Winner, everybody.
The Academy League is back! After weeks and weeks of the player base begging, crying, and desperately waiting, Academy did finally awaken from their slumber and opened back their gates to the public. Players finally can do their absolute favorite thing again! Asking Lesson Fox how many players are in Ra. Sliffers have already been flooded by countless duelists who are trying to schedule their way to an obelisk and subsequently their Worlds ticket. As per usual, those duelists came from all over the world, and I always wondered which country had the most represented players in Academy, and that's why I, personally, you're welcome guys, crunched the numbers, proudly presenting them to you today. We had 1 player each from Croatia and Finland. We had 4 players hailing from Mexico and 5 from Switzerland. 28 players came from the US, 32 from Italy, 41 from Germany, and finally from Greece. We had 54,238 players. Yeah, that sounds about right. Face it, guys, we all have to learn the Cyrillic alphabet to win an obelisk this season.
Return Winner, everybody. I love Return Winner. Thank you so much for Return Winner for that. It's so freaking. That was good. That was good. He said that all of one go too. That was pretty nuts. Bro read that bar for bar. But no, it goes to show, right? And also, I love the one person from Finland. We all know who that is. That's Riksaw. Shout out Riksaw. And Croatia. Shout out Ludi. The one-ups of each country is so crazy. The only Cyrillic I know is Sikabli. Return Winner, everybody. Next time you see him, give a, say shout out for what you do here. And that is all for the entry news that I wanted to go on. Thank you everybody for participating and giving me your comments here for the show. Appreciate you all so much for that. And we're about to get into the PWCQ section, everybody. This is going to be the meat and potatoes of the show tonight. We're going to start off with the PWCQ 81 Finals Replay Review. Okay, so get ready. I go ahead and switch the music up to some tracks you guys are familiar with if you keep up with the show. Okay. We have J-Lu versus Don't Copy. J-Lu on Earth Cat. Earth Cat, everybody. I never thought in a million years we'd be able to see Earth Cat in the finals. As a guy that played this deck religiously, inspired by Danger Boss, the OG, the Earth Cat OG Danger Boss. I'm so happy to see in finals J-Lu rocking that deck. Hey, Tube, I have a question. Has anybody brought Legendary Fisherman to an event? Probably have. Never seen a top. On the other side of the corner, we have Don't Copy. Don't Copy in the blue corner here, rocking a Decree Control list. This is going to be a slobber knocker out, everybody. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Let's get right into the action. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Go Format banger content. Let's get into it. Let's see here. Don't Copy going first. What you got for me, buddy? Let's take a look and peek into the mind of Don't Copy here. Don't Copy is going to fire off a Graceful Charity. Graceful Charity coming on down here. We'll be discarding here. Thinking about it. We're going to discard ourselves the Sasuke and the Kaiku. Dark and Light already in the mix here. Already in the mix here. We got ourselves a potential chaotic, magnetic, energetic combination of lightness and darkness to potentially create a BLS or a Sorcerer if we need to. But we're going to slam down actually a DD Assailant. DD Assailant I love in this Decree list here. Assailant there's a powerful card by itself, has great stats for what you want here. 1700 attack, 1600 defense. Sook ain't doing nothing. Okay, to Don't Copy's powerful DD Assailant. And also it just has built-in removal. Pretty freaking sweet. Okay. We're gonna set one pass. J-Lu is gonna go ahead and lock into a T-set +1, bringing a friend to the mix here as well here. Pretty surprising because we know with the deck, at this point, Don't Copy and J-Lu already know what each other are basically playing. Let's see what's going on here. CG says, removal on a big stick, definitely good. I agree. I absolutely agree here. We're going to flip up a shoot, baby, shoot. Yes. Yes. Big fan of Dust Shoot in this deck. Huge fan of Dust Shoot in the Earth Cat deck. Love, love, love it. Makes so much sense. Gets you so much knowledge. And you get to see what the opponent is doing here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Ooh, so we had the Rhoda, the Sasuke, the Lily, the Greld, the Tribe. What are you grabbing here? Tribe, smashing Rhoda, Sasuke, sending back the Lily. You don't want that pushing your teeth in, kicking your teeth while you're down here. We're going to Rhoda on down. We're going to grab ourselves a level 2 for Don't Copy. Don't Copy might be afraid of maybe a jar, maybe a cyber jar, maybe a morphing jar here. Probably a cyber jar, but it's actually a Milas Radiant coming on down here. Straight into the grave. So now J-Lu, J-Lu's on the Earth Cat. He has Earth set up. He might be able to pump out a Gigantes and get to gaming. Get to a big Gigantes game. We're going to take 1700 though for J-Lu here. Not at the end of the world for J-Lu. He can still pay for Stein and all that good stuff. Here comes the Gigantes off the top rope here. Clean special summon. We're going to swing on in on the level 2. Get ourselves our, get our Wharf out of this Gigantes. Main phase 2, passing it over. Don't copy. Main phase 1 for don't copy. Here comes a breaker gonna pop. Breaker gonna pop. He hit the knock. Kind of useless. Nice little bait there for J-Lu. Nice little tomfoolery here. Don't copy could have maybe, possibly, perhaps done like a crash as like a heavy storm, but you probably don't want to do that because you want to protect your set back there. We're going to smash and ground up the Gigantes, and we're going to swing for a bunch of damage. Fair enough. Don't copy. Getting J-Lu out of Stein range now. And now it's even questionable if J-Lu wants to even pop a Lily because they'll put him down to 1,000. Now he has to try to kill through other means here other than his big pop, drop, and locket, play of the Stein here. We're going to go to main phase 1. We're going to get out a Premature Burial. Premature Burial goes and target the only card that he can, the Gigantes. It was summoned correctly, so it's a legal summon. And it's back to the races here, baby. Gigantes is going to slam into the breaker, connects. 300. It's at 1 pass. Standby to the main phase. Don't copy. He's going to do a dirty by the dozen duo. Duo's going to swing on in here. He's going to hit the will. Going to hit the Trunade. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, the only thing you really could have done here, there's not a whole lot, really. The only realistic thing you could have possibly done is, like, maybe Trunade back your Primo. But is that really worth it? Yeah, I don't know. We're going to TT on the summon of the tribe. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. We're going to set 1 pass for J-Lu. Out comes a Sasuke. Sasuke was known. J-Lu has no answer for it. And we're going to go into game 2. J-Lu could have survived the turn. Right? J-Lu could have survived the turn there. He's only at 22. Nothing that he knew of here was going to kill him. J-Lu got to stick in there, buddy. You never know what you're going to get here. As J-Lu is going to go first here. J-Lu, what you got for me, buddy? We're going to rock off our own Assailant. Assailant come out between both players in the finals. Just goes to show that Assailant is a high-value card. High value coming out here for you with the Assailant. And pass. No background, no nothing. Come and get me. Challenging. Don't copy. Don't copy. Rocking off. Rocking off the power. A power card here in Graceful Charity. Once again, finding it. We're going to pitch off the Spy. We're going to pitch off the Meta. Don't need it. We're going to normal summon the Spy, get ourselves a swap, and now we have the power of the Assailant in our hands here. We're going to take the 500 for J-Lu. Losing the Assailant, unfortunate, especially when you're playing the cat deck. J-Lu on the draw. Say bye to the main phase. We're going to smash and ground it up. Out comes the Wombat baby. Wombat baby coming in hot. Hot, locked and loaded. 1,600. Set 1, pass it on. Big alpha male energy here. Just having the Desmond out here. Just no Mons, just a Desmond. 1,600. Can Don't Copy beat that? We're going to do a duo. Another duo. We don't copy J-Lu, losing the Prima, losing the Will. Uh-oh. Well, there goes your big combo play. That's unfortunate. We're going to try to summon the Kaiku. It's something that's successful, but we got the TT, though, so go ahead and eat that. J-Lu on the draw. Main phase. Here comes a Lily. Big, fat, freaking damage. 3,400. Off the top rope here, literally on the draw. We're going to rock the Lily. We're going to make Don't Copy eat 34, putting down a 2,000. J-Lu only at 55. Only at 55 for J-Lu. Pass it over. J-Lu is not afraid. Here comes a Exile Force. Sure thing, buddy. We lost the Prima. So what's the plan now? We're going to go Pot. Well, Pot's pretty good. Pot's pretty good to good off the top there, I got to say. Jailu drawing 2 just for you, baby. And there comes a Cypher Soldier and Gigante Slam. Gigante Slam is a valid summon, and that's going to be game 2. Just got to hit him with the 1-2 punches, baby. That's what Earthcat's good at. Earthcat is good at those 1-2 punches. I'll tell you that much. You know, when I think of like Earthcat, I don't think of it as like I'm going to kill you in 1 turn. Those can obviously happen, but you get a lot of like I'm going to deal like 5,000 in 1 turn. Didn't do it pretty easily, and also had to have another option next turn. You know, they live off of like normal summon plus something else. Pretty dang freaking sweet. As Don't Copy drops return here in the main phase. Out comes the Assailant. Set 1 pass. Jailu's time to shine all over the place here, everybody. Jailu, main phase 1. Main phase 1 for Jailu. Out comes a big fat freaking Lily. Smashing ground on the Assailant. 2-hit KO is still a KO. That's true. That's true, CG. That's absolutely facts. You know, you don't have to kill in 1 hit. You can just do the big burst damage. Dig deep into the heart and go after him. You know, totally valid. We're going to Smashing Ground. And we're going to swing in here for a big fat 34. No answer from Don't Copy. And there goes a Swords for you. It's that 1 pass. Main phase 1 for Don't Copy. Tsukiyomi coming out here. We kept the Nox. Don't Copy kept the Nox in. You saw the Wombat. You haven't seen any sets. You saw Jailu set the Milas. I wonder why we're keeping... I guess he is afraid of Cyberjar, right? Is Cyberjar, right? Or maybe he thinks... You know, I'm thinking he thinks that there might be Cyberjar still afoot here, perhaps. We're going to go Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is going to bring us out a Dark Flare Dragon. Doing this to probably just sponge up damage. Oh, no. We're going to bring out the Carbonara Warrior. The Carbonara Warrior coming out. Just so we can sponge up the damage, it looks like. Putting it in attack position so the Panda doesn't just run it over and kill it. Fair enough. Smart positioning here for Don't Copy. But we have the Cypher... Jailu has the Cypher Soldier. Oh, this is huge freaking damage. Carbonara Warrior's a warrior. Taking 1850. I want to know why Don't Copy did the Carbonara Warrior, not the Dark Flare. I feel like Dark Flare would be nicer for you. Because you saw the Cypher game too. Maybe he just didn't think about it. Maybe he just didn't... Maybe he just tried to play it on... I'd rather he had the Cypher Soldier than like a cat or a panda, perhaps. Fair enough. Big damage zone to Don't Copy here. Main phase 1 for him. T setting. Pass it on. Swords is one. You know, someone turn left on Swords. Here comes a Gigante Slam. Carbonara is Earth for Milas. Oh, in case he does like a Milas play. Fair. Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of a lose-lose situation. You kind of, you know, it's. I guess it's just. Michael CS, that is a great point. Carbonara is Earth for Milas. I guess. Yeah, I guess you kind of have to pick your poison at that point. You kind of just like consider the options of like, is he going to do a cat play or is he going to have the Cypher in hand to punish this? It just so happened that he had a big, fat, juicy punish. Oh, didn't want to play around Milas OTK. Fair enough. Yeah, Don't Copy. I'm pause champing on this replay, so I didn't see that ahead of time. But no, Don't Copy is also calling me out here. He's, you know, shout out to Don't Copy. He knows what he's doing. I'm just an idiot with a microphone. We're gonna summon out the Panda. Panda will treat you right. Panda's going to swing in for 1,300. It's going to hit Lily. Wow, that's a good protective service right there for Lily. Pass it over. Juicy, 1,500. Swords expires. Does Jaylu have the Daz Wildbat? It also works. He's got a freaking gaff. He's got a freaking gaff. Gaff slamming down. All the gaffs. Here comes the stat style. The stat style. Oh, we're just going to try to slam. Bam. Don't copy saying GG. GG. Stone copy admitting defeat. Jaylu taking a big fat freaking W. Pretty quick match, all things considered here. Let's see how long it took in game here, right? 11 minutes and 27 seconds. That's sometimes Earth just be doing that. Sometimes Earth just be doing that. You know, these are both pretty aggressive decks. I mean, yeah, Don't Copy is technically playing a control deck, but I mean, it's the Kree control. I mean, look at the cards he was rocking here. Assailants, Kaiku, Sasuke, as a warrior package in general. You know, these are both pretty aggressive decks, but they're on the different spectrums of what I would consider aggro, right? Don't Copy is trying to play like that, you know, momentum, keep tempo going on in his favor. Jaylu is playing aggro in the sense of I'm going to just pummel you and just beat your face in. I'm going to eat your flesh. You know, I'm going to eat your skin. You know, type deck here. Okay. So, and also, you know, I said this to Don't Copy after I heard about the match. I told him you couldn't have had a worse matchup for your finals, buddy. You couldn't, you know, as far as deck archetypes go, you couldn't have had a worse matchup. Jaylu picked it right. Jaylu picked it right, tell you that much. Jaylu, your PWCQ 81 champion, coming out on top. First big fat dub of the season. Okay, shout out and congratulations to Jaylu. But don't worry, they both got their invites. 64 players, remember that, 64 players. So they both ended up getting their invites. So congratulations, right, to Don't Copy here. I'm going to put a crown on him. And then congratulations to Jaylu. Wow, that was literally a Lily final. Lily in both decks. Assailant in both decks. That's how you know the cards are good. Checkmate burn. That's how you know the cards are good, is when both players in finals are rocking them. Okay. Let me go ahead and switch back to the regular music that I have planned for the stream here. There we go. And that was the finals. That was the finals. Short, sweet, to the point. Earthcat on top. You know, Don't Copy. Still showing that he's a great player. But sometimes they can't beat those. Sometimes they can't beat those odds. Going to the top 8, though. Don't think I forgot about you, top 8. I didn't forget about you. We're going to go into it right here. Starting off with top 8 for Crash Vault. Rockin' Warrior. Look at this list. I love looking at it, to be honest with you. I like the jogs. Jogs are on the rise of Warrior. Some players are rocking the upstarts. I think either or for me. You know, as long as they get that speed in. Some people will say they like having that early, you know, going first. I'm going to whopper you type of play. Fair enough. But some people like the bait that Jog has. Crash Vault went with the Jog. I like what I see here. I like the no compromise triple Blade Knight, triple Kaiku. I think that's really, really freaking sweet. Look at that. No compromise. He's just like, I want all the goodies. You know, I know Kaiku works. I know Blade Knight works. Just give me 3 of each. And we'll figure the rest out. Love the list. In the side deck, come back. This is Jog has a lot more utility than Upstart in Warriors. That's fair, but some people, like I said, some people just want those non-games. And a lot of people feel like if you want those non-games, you want the Upstarts. So it all depends on what you kind of want. If you want the more utility, the more consistency of Warriors, you'd probably want the Jogs, because the Jogs allow you that little cushion for the pushing. It makes it that way they're not always hitting real stuff in the back row, right? But some people just want those non-games. And I feel like you can get the non-games by playing the Upstarts. That's how I feel, at least. That's just my opinion. If you want to get more non-games going, you play the upstarts. Because that's how you're more likely to get a whopper going. You're more likely to just completely melt down the opponent when, if you're going first turn, you set it all up. The side deck I'm liking a lot here. As Cub mentioned here, we do have the Cliff. The Cliff is loose. I've been playing Cliff recently in my decks. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been playing Cliff a lot in my decks. Thing's a freaking tank out here, okay? It's great against the Kree decks. It's great against Floodgate decks. Like Burn, for example. It hits under the level limit area. B, it hits under the Gravity Binds. It's roto searchable. Double Archer's interesting. He's a player that definitely did not underestimate Burn. I mean, look at this. Double Archer, you have the Cliff, you have the double walk. He was prepared for Burn. I can tell you that much. He has some Burn goodies. He saw what happened at Worlds and he said, never again. Never again, buddy. I like the threatening roars here. I've always been a big fan of Crashful, especially when it comes to his deck building. I love how he does the side decks. The threatening roars, feels super old school, but it also feels super necessary to a certain degree, right? You need those stoppers. And to some degree, I really like threatening roars because they offer a very unique benefit that Swords doesn't. And that's mostly being chainable. Being able to make your opponent waste a True Nade, like let's say you're facing off against Reason Gate, for example. Making them waste that True Nade by going True Nade Chain, Threatening Roar, that's huge. That's giant. Because there's only 3 True Nades in those types of decks, and then they also have the heavy, of course, but, so freaking important to make them burn them and waste them. I love the Compulse. After watching Killer play in Worlds, I have become a total Compulse truther. I've become a believer in the Compulse. I think Compulse is really, really smart, really good. There's a lot of power in that card. I think it cooks. T-Roar is a nightmare for Cat. J-Lu got a good dodge on this one. It's true. I think Crash, even though Crash looks super prepared for Burn here, I think he did end up losing top 8 to Burn. I think it was to D-Day Merrick, if I had to say. I think he lost to D-Day Merrick. We'll take a look at his list later here. But, Crash Volt. With a great Burn for side. And a great side for... with a great side for Burn. Unfortunately, lost to Burn. He just couldn't find it. He just couldn't find the cards he needed, which is unfortunate because you'd think that if, 3 Rota targets, 3 anti-Burn Rota targets, 4, not including your level 2 when you're exiled, just solely off the side here with walks, not being able to find them. Unfortunate. CG says, never again is what you swore the time before. Depeche mode. Also, Worlds 2021, or with it Worlds 2022, the Burn is good. People forget Burn is good because a side Burn becomes good again cycle. That's true. No, time is a flat circle. CD, you know this. Let's take a look at the next list here. We have Silver Flash, Rockin' Burn. Cat Burns, to be more precise here. Again, no gimmicks here. I believe this is a net. I don't know if it's a net deck per se, but definitely a lot of inspiration taken from Madcap's list. I don't think this is a net deck, but there's obviously is a lot of inspiration from Madcap. Madcap said himself while he was streaming that he was kind of under his tutelage in a way. Silver Flash here, shout out. I like the main deck a lot. I've never done the enemy controller, but the people that have been swearing by it left and right and center. So I'm not going to judge it. I just never personally played it. I love the United We Stand. United We Stand on Wombat basically wins your burn mirrors. Not quite Madcap's list, but close. Yeah, I should have prefaced that. It's not exactly the list, but there's obviously a lot of inspiration taken from it, and it makes sense because Madcap said himself that Silver Flash has been kind of taking inspiration and learning from Madcap, so it makes sense. Econ is insane in this deck. I can see why. I never tried it, but I can definitely understand why. It's true. Matt helped me a lot with this deck. Are you Silver Flash, Nico? I made some changes. Fair enough. Well, first of all, Nico, in the chat here, if you're Silver Flash, congratulations on your top. Very well done. Showing people yet again, reminding people yet again that burn is good. One second, everybody. Welcome aboard, Nico. I love the United We Stand here. I think that's great. I think your burn card ratios are pretty nice and solid. You know, the triple trunade, not triple trunade, the triple trio, barrel, just desserts. I think all this looks pretty nice and tight. And I like the swords. Swords works well with your trunade and all that good stuff. I also like the one bind just in case you get paired up against like the I like the idea of like the first to go as far as your floodgates is your binds, because more than likely you're way more likely to face off against like a decree player than anybody that would be able to floodgate spells. You know what I'm saying? I think that makes total sense. I think that's smart. That's smart, Silver Flash. I like it. First to go being the trap floodgate. The side deck. Now I'm going to say, Silver Flash, I am going to tell you this. You're a lot of people saw your list as controversial when I was streaming it, and I'm going to tell you why. It's the Sakus. A lot of people felt like the Sakus were a bit misplaced in this list. I saw what you were doing with it. I did see what you were doing with it, but some people were like, "Why are we rocking this?" And to be fair, you know, there is some, I can definitely see some argument for it. And I can see some arguments against it. You know, doesn't really collaborate very well with the rest of the deck here, what you're trying to do. Like, you're not trying to play like that type of trading game. For the Sakus, I talked to Maru. I was told it was a Greek tech. EMN has this to say, "Hey man, I am a very old school player of Yu-Gi-Oh! I am going back with the retro formats because I was quitting after Link's release, but for now I am playing Star Wars Unlimited." Welcome in, man. Hey, if you're ever interested in playing some retro formats, it's free. If you don't like it, all you have wasted is maybe a little bit of your time. But if you do like it, you know, the path of, you know, the barrier of entry is very low for Go format, I'll say. Like, you have to understand the basics of the rules, and then you make a free account on Dueling Book, and then you make a deck, and then you're off to the races, pretty much. If you want to play in the Discord events, a lot of them are free. You know, it's a very low barrier of entry. All you really need is like an internet connection. I'd love to hear Maru talk about the Sakus. Because I think there is something there, but I know it's quite controversial. Last time I was looking at it. Just in time for the Cat Burn Showcase. Welcome in, Madcap. We were just talking about you. Shout out to Madcap, friend of the show. We were talking about the Sakus. I think I can understand why people would be opposed to the Sakus. Right? Like, you're not playing that type of game. You're not trying to trade off with it. Catburn has a big problem with warriors, and when they side, you have to remove as many targets, I think. But a lot of targets are going to be searching against burn, right? That's going to be like, they're going to be grabbing the level 2. Which, if you Saku to level 2, fair enough. Right? But then there's the Exile Force. The Exile Force is not going to get Saku'd. They might have a Cliff. Very rare chances people are rocking the Cliffs nowadays. I'm a big fan of the Cliff, but it's a lot more rare to find a Cliff in the wild. That's pretty meaty Saku target, but Cliff is out of vogue right now, I would say. Cliff is out of vogue. I am watching your videos in the last week. Hey, enjoy. Sadly, I am watching too many Chaos Turbo, so it's a tier 0 format. It's absolutely not. As a matter of fact, EM, in this PWCQ, there were 0 turbo in top 8. 0 turbo in top 8. 0 turbo. No, there's 1 turbo in top 8 of the World Championship that happened last October. So it's not even close to being a tier 0 format. Turbo does win. It wins a lot of events, but tier 0, it is absolutely not. I think the more players that are coming in and trying to get good with other decks, the more Turbo is struggling really hard. And we're actually going to be talking about that later on the show here. I have it on my docket. Blade Knight, says Nico, but you don't. How big of an issue is the Blade Knight? Like I'm speaking genuinely. Like I'm asking genuinely. Like how big of an issue is the Blade Knight? Also try to balance the Destinator targets, MSTs, Breaker, Heavy, so I can stall. That's fair. I don't know. I'm still not like. I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit more. I'm gonna have to let the Sakus kind of simmer in my head here. I'm kind of leaning. I can understand the Mirror Force. The Mirror Force, I totally understand. It's specifically the Sakus at 3. I feel like, I'll have to think about that a little bit more. Maybe I want to be playing something close to Warriors, but using Dragon Recruiters to be doing King Dragoon with Darkstone plus Ragnarok Dragon. Technically, maybe a DD Dragon for Wing Beast. Ooh. And the seal card that is using this burn strategy, I don't remember the name. Time Seal? But yeah, that's like my only thing. I think there's a dragon channel in the Go Format Discord you can take a look at, EML, if you want to try dragons. I think there is a dragon channel in the Discord if you want to take a look at what some people may be rocking. I know there's a dragon deck at GoFormat.com you can take a look at as well. But yeah, overall, I think the list is really solid, Silver Flash. Saku kills Cliff, kills level 2, kills anything that gets under their floodgate. That's true, CG, but like I said earlier, like, yeah, getting to level 2 is a no-brainer. It's the Cliff part, like I said before, Cliff is out of vogue right now. I like Cliff, but I think it's out of vogue. I don't think people, I think people are just doing archers. An archer obviously isn't going to do anything with the Saku. Like, yeah, you might be able to kill the archer after it's taken out all of the tokens. But, is that really a win? Maybe. Hits kinetic. Kinetic's also a problem. Fair. I can see that. It is annoyingly 1,500 higher than what your, or 50 higher than what your panda would be. That is a little annoying. I can see that for sure. No snatch steal is weird. No snatch is a little odd here. We're rocking the enemy control. I mean, the enemy controller I like a lot. But no snatch. Yeah, no snatch. I didn't even notice that. Surflash, why no snatch? I feel like warrior, snatching up a strong warrior would be pretty good, right? Like if you were to like snatch their cliff, or the blade knight, or the kinetic, you're making them have to use their cards on themselves, What should I think about? But I still like I said, man. I think the list is really clean, especially the main deck. I love the United We Stand. I'm a big fan of the United We Stand. We can go into this a little bit more later here, but I do want to continue forward here on the top 8 as well. We have Ludi, friend of the show, Ludi. Ludi rocking the Warrior Control. I love this deck. If you know me, I love these more aggressive control decks. So when I saw Ludi top with this, I was freaking very happy to see Ludi continue to stay winning, continue to keep doing well here in this format. I don't want to see him go. And he's rocking a bunch of goodies, guys. He's rocking a bunch of goodies. I love the monster lineup here. Just give me a bunch of one-ofs. Just give me a bunch of one-ofs, guys. And you'll be in my good favors. Tell you that much. A bunch of nice little one-ofs in the monster lineup here. The Asura Priest makes sense. I love Asura Priest in these aggro builds, man. Oh, it's so juicy. People always underestimate. People underestimate the Asura Priest. How's it going, Corn? But I love the Asura Priest. I remember when I was originally picking back up Control, more casually speaking, and I just realized like Asura Priest just kills a bunch of like unexpected players. It kills players. It kills turbo players that just rush to flip someone up their spies and just go aggro on you. It pummels a bunch of the warrior monsters. There's a couple times where I went like flip goats on like a Donnie in a breaker, and I was able to swing on both of them and do my thing on them. And then also like do swap plays against warrior and all that. It's good against the mirror, obviously. It's pretty freaking sweet. It's pretty sweet, and it keeps your board open. Hey, Cornstruct. No, I just want to say hi. Appreciate you, Corn. Shout out to Corn, man. We're working on a bunch of stuff together. Always fun to work on content with him. Shout out to Corn, everybody. If you haven't seen him or his videos, he does a lot of cool Go format stuff. Shout out. The spell lineup I like a lot. Love the 2-2-2 ratio. I think the 2-2-2 ratio is totally viable here. The trap lineup, again, clean and to the point. The Saku, I feel like when it comes to warrior, I feel like I'd rather, not warrior, but when it comes to control, I think my one disagreement with Ludi here is I think this could be Destinato instead. If I'm being perfectly honest with you. Matt, because his deck looks great. Just my one thing is because you want the monsters. When you're playing warrior, the warrior stuff, you should be able to pretty much beat over your opponent's stuff. And then like you have your scapegoats, you have your metas and swaps. You kind of want your opponent to have like the mon stuff. The Saku, I feel like could be Destinato, because I feel like the biggest problem is with these kind of control decks is getting interrupted. I feel like your opponent's Sakus get a lot better because everything becomes Saku. Becomes a good Saku hit, like Saku hitting Thousand Eyes, Saku hitting Blade Knight, Saku hitting Kaiku. This kind of Go control we may see top a fair bit this season. I agree. I think this deck, and then I think the Decree controls, these aggro control decks are going to be doing pretty well. Is that a sign of things regarding the those morphing jars play a bunch of flips in like Zaborg decks? That might be something we might have to see in the future on how those kind of control decks go. You know, those old super stally ones that play like Daemok and whatever. And just Hoto OTK. I kind of like these that are more tempo oriented overall. Notice the Borgs are nothing, by the way. No Mobius either. No tributes. You know, I like it. Side deck looks clean. There's a Cliff again. You know, CG's is saying if Cliff is out of Vogue, then Vogue is wrong. Lol, MST from Maroda is tight. Cliff is here too. Lol. It's true. No, you're pushing the choir, CG. I like the Cliff. Okay. Ludi here likes the Cliff. I'm just saying it hasn't been very popular the past couple years, I would say. Get those bricks out of here, says Madcap. Yeah, I agree. It's focusing all on the consistency. That's why you have the double rotas. In my list, I rock one. In my control list. Maybe one day I'll show you guys my control list. It's actually kind of fun. I like the Mataza. I like the Mataza a lot. I used to be, for people that know me, you may know I was historically anti-Mataza. I thought for the longest time Mataza is a infinitely worse Lily, whose claim to fame is that it's slightly better at against control stuff. You know, so just a little bit more annoying. But I've come to change my opinion on it a bit recently after rocking it a bit more and giving it another chance to breathe. And I gotta say, the Mataza is a nice little cook, especially if you're on these warrior decks, because you got the double rota. It's good against control, obviously. It's good as just a nice little poker, a nice little poke machine. It's nice under floodgates. You know, you're just able to get those pokes in. I thought about the possibility of like a warrior list that rocks like level limit area B and you're playing just a bunch of Matazas. Super funny. I've been seeing a lot of the Mataza double tap decks coming out to play, and those are always interesting. It's like alternate universe warrior. We also have Berserk Gorilla in here. No Zombira. No Zombira is kind of interesting because I feel like if you're playing this feels like it would be the perfect deck for Zombira, to be perfectly honest with you, because we are rocking the Tsukiyomi either way, right? And you get the unique benefit of Tsukiyomi flip resetting the Zombiras. But he opted for the Gorillas, and I don't hate Gorilla. If you guys know me, I like Gorillas. You know, you can trigger Last Will off of a Gorilla. Fun fact. He also rocks the Assailant. Good. I think DD Assailant's more like a main deck card, if you want my honest to goodness opinion. I feel like Assailant feels like it's more of a generalist main deck card. He did tell me that the DD Assailant does come out versus Warrior, which is fair. I personally think that this is like more of a generalist card, and then maybe there might be something a bit more specific for Warrior that you would bring in instead of the Assailant. Because I feel like you don't want to just trade off like that. Even just swapping Zombira, then taking it back with Tyr. I've done that before. It cooks. But then he also has the double Cypher Soldiers too. So what am I saying about Warrior? He's locked and loaded for Warrior. I think the Gorilla applies pressure a little bit better since the deck seems to thrive off of attack and of opportunities. Otherwise, nicey theory. I like the little random morphing jar here. I mean, I liked morphing jar, but don't expect them to take out their Nox. You know what I'm saying, guys? Don't expect the Nox to come out. I'm gonna tell you guys. I've done similar theory. I've rocked a similar aggro control deck in the past. You know, because I love these types of decks. It's like one of my favorite decks to play. If you guys know me, you know I love Tome Abyss, and Tome Abyss is basically kind of something like this. I'm going to tell you guys, though, the opponent's never going to take out knock against you. It's never going to happen. The second they see scapegoats, they're going to just assume they just didn't see the flips. They're going to keep knocks in. Okay. Prima side is interesting. Prima side is very interesting. Again, I wonder why if we're not maining it, I wonder why we're citing it. What matchups do we do the Prima? Interesting. Like, that's just my thing, is like, I just don't know where, like, if it's not good enough for main, what matchups specifically does Prima shine better against than others? You know what I'm saying? That's my thinking here. Maybe if you want more of a recycle with like Exiled, perhaps. The zinger, dude. I love the zingers. I like the zinger and the tuna and the springer and the bringer. I like the zinger. That's gotta be for Warrior when you bring those aggro monsters in. Premature probs just counters removal in game 2. That's fair. That's fair. Both of those might be good reasons, yeah. I do agree with Matt Cap on that. Yeah, that makes sense. Here comes Pikatron. Top 8 with Chaos Warrior. Okay, we just saw Warrior Control. Now peep this out. This is Chaos Warrior coming at you. If you know Pikatron, this is no surprise, really, that he's going to be rocking this deck. This is like his signature list of sorts. Maybe not a signature variant of this deck, but this is his bread and butter. You know, he's been rocking this deck for like over a year now. You know, bringing it everywhere he goes, and there's a good reason why. Because it's really fucking good. This deck is really fucking good, guys. I know some people were clowning on it for a while. At the start of like 2024, after the GFC EU, dude, whoever was clowning on this deck, you're the clown, because this deck freaking rules, dude. Chaos Warrior Pikatron has been pushing this deck to the limit. TG says 3 jog 2 upstart. I could never, but really should. I love 3 jog 2 upstarts in a warrior deck of all things. Oh my goodness. Take note that he's not main decking the Sork. He's siding the Sork here. His only chaos monster being the BLS, but he still is rocking the triple TD. You've also been playing CT. Yes, this is another great deck type, not played by too many people. It's great, yeah, because it's very unique. Not a whole lot of pilots. To me, it fits a similar zone as Quish Chaos. You know, not a lot of pilots for the deck, but it's still a great deck. I think it's still a great deck to play, because it's basically chaos. I mean, it's just a chaos aggro, and aggro's good. Aggro's good. I hate to break it to people, but slam hit is always going to be good in this format, just by the nature of how old it was. Slam is going to be good. And this is a deck that slams, but also gives you TDs to thin the deck out, and also lets you do all the draw stuff, and also lets you rock Raigeki Break, one of the best trap cards. You know, one of the best utility trap cards in the game. It gives you access to not just BLS, but it gives you enough going on to where you can do the darks. CG says, Pikatron, I've seen mention how much he values live cards. He has a very strong intolerance to bricks, so I could see siding Sork. Fair enough. Make every card count. Make every card count for Pikatron. And you can definitely see that in this list here. No fluff. No butter. No butterscotch. Okay, this is all meat. meat and potatoes. No carrots, no celery, no onions, no lamb, no chicken, no tuna. This is meat and potatoes. Steak and eggs. Steak and eggs. That's what this is, actually. This is actually steak and eggs. Not meat and potatoes. This is steak and eggs. Okay, he's eating good. Again, wow, look at this. Ludi's not alone on citing the Prima. Ludi is not alone on citing the Prima. And triple Saku, triple Dust Tornado. And Chaos Warrior, one Chaos Monster in main. I know, but that's what I'm going to call it. That's what I'm going to call it. Dark Paladin is not a summonable monster for Metamorphosis. That's what I'm going to call it, Madcap. You want to know why? Because it's got Thunder Dragons. For goodness gracious. You can call it whatever you want. Honestly, I'm down for just calling every deck just decks. Remove the labels. But you know, people like putting things in groups. People like to put things in categories. So I'm going to call it Chaos Warrior. Madcap did super own me, though. Chaos. Yeah, it's just funny. It's obviously that deck type still. No, it is very funny. It is very funny. Not a whole lot else to say. I think it looks good. The card destruction does seem a little out of place. Just because when I think of card destruction, I think of Night Assailants. I don't know. Do you guys also think of Night Assailants when you think of card destruction? Getting like the most out of it? That might just be a me thing, though. I mean, it's not like you don't have discard fodder. I mean, you have SERP and 3 TDs. But that's just how I see it. That's pretty much it, though. The rest of this list I love. The rest of this list I really like a lot. Maybe play Sword somewhere. Maybe Sword somewhere. How do we beat RGT? How do we advance against RGT? I guess is a good question. And Burn. I guess you have triple Dust Tornado for Burn. Fair enough. You also have Kinetic. Fair enough. Okay. Still really great. Like, Pikatron builds for very specific decks, I think, from what it looks like. And I think it works. Yeah, I mean, he's a consistent player. Shout out and congratulations on top 8, Pikatron. I know that Pikatron and I have... Pikatron's been wanting to do a video. And I hope it gets made and I'd be more than happy to have it uploaded on the channel. We're going to go to the top 4, everybody. Get excited, get excited, get excited. For top 4, we have D-Day Merrick. Okay, D-Day Merrick off the top rope with Burn. Another Burnless, everybody. But this time it's Panda Burn. A little something to change up the spirit. A little something to feel the soul here. Something to touch you real close here. We have Panda Burn. Yes, guys, you did see that right. There's 2 Burn. Top 8. Nobody respected Burn. Except for like a few people. Yet again. Nobody was expecting Burn. But it still did well. Post Worlds, baby. That's what I'm talking about. This time we are seeing the Gardenas. We didn't see the Gardenas at Worlds. I like the Gardenas. I think they're cute. There's a chain energy build here. We got the triple chain energy. I like what I see here. The Nightmare Wheel is one of my favorite cards. One of my favorite cards, the Nightmare Wheel. I gotta say. Don't ask me why. I think it's cool. The monster lineup seems super straight to the point. Super simple. No fluff, no butter. Spell lineup. Again, chain energies, and then Trunades, and then good stuff. Yeah. And then traps, just all the traps. Every single burn trap. Bring him in. D-Day Merrick was always on Gardenas. I didn't see, what I meant was we didn't see it in the top worlds list for the burn decks that were there, was what I meant. He probably did play the Gardenas at Worlds. I just didn't see it in the top list for burn, is what I should have said. That's what I meant. The side deck, the Poison the Old Man. I've seen a lot of these like side decks for burn. I've seen the bad reaction to Samochi. Shout out to FLC Champ. That kind of innovated that card a little bit. Do as well as a base ratio. Make sure you have as many as they have for knock. Oh, that's a good point, Madcap. On the two double Gardenas. Double Gardena for 2 knock? I kind of like that. That's great reasoning. That's a great reason to rock double Gardena. The bad reaction I get. The Poison of the Old Man. What's going on there? What's going on with this poison? It's not like a time. Is it a time thing? Like you just hold this, like you bring this in game 3 every time in case you go into time. Surely this isn't like a Swiss thing. The rest of this deck seems pretty straightforward. The Minecon, a little out there. But I think it, the Nox makes sense. The Archer makes sense. The Walk, the Breaker side makes sense because you want to try to get aim for like Kree stuff. That's like the big thing. You want to try to snipe here with decided MST and heavy. You're already so in favor in time. Then what's the Poison the Old Man for? I need to hear the discussion around this card. Like I can't think of why else you would play it other than it's a in time gain a quick 12, right? What else could it be for? Yours says I really like it. This is just maybe it's for the life gain in case you take a little too much damage on the way to killing your opponent. You do have the Lily. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Maybe you need to squeeze in the 12 in case you want to proc the Lily one more time. Maybe it is like a math thing. D-Day Merrick. French, by the way. One of the few French players in Go format. Shout out and congratulations on your top 4. With Burn. Yet again, proving to people that Burn needs to be respected. Top 4 coming at you once again with Sentenza's warrior list here. This time, we saw Crash Vault with the triple BK and the triple Kaiku. We're actually going double BK, double Kaiku, triple Spy, double Sasuke. Crazy monster lineup. All things considered here. More of a flip warrior. Except we're not doing the Dekos. Instead, we're doing the second Sasuke. Which I think is pretty cool. I like me a Sasuke's quite a bit. I think Sasuke's very good to have. Just whenever you can rock a Rhoda deck, a Rhoda engine of sorts, I think Sasuke should be in there. It's a light 1800 attack, and it kills spies. And it also kills Sork in defense. It kills BLS in defense. There's a lot of utility in what Sasuke can do for you. And it just having to also be light is like the cherry on top. So I'm quite a big fan of like the idea of lists having double Sasuke. The spies I like a lot. You know, I already know about the theory of main decking spies and warrior. You know, if you resolve it, it's pretty freaking good. You know, spy is generally just a good card, and also if your opponent knocks it, you knock out their spies. So you thin your deck out, your opponent loses, you know, one of the best anti-warrior cards, and you can kind of just get the ball rolling. Like, them knocking you is so much better for you. I like it. What can I say? This is like 2023 warrior theory. So I like to see it get back, come back into the limelight with his top here. Sasuke gets rid of walls, makes sense. Yeah. Yep. I like the you know, it's like I said, spy and warrior is like 2023 mindset here, but I love it. I'm all for it here. Gets you through Reaper too. Oh, that's also true. Reaper, I think Reaper might have might be coming back here. And between it and DD Assailant and Mystic Swordsman level 2, no battle position your opponent uses is safe in a theoretical toolbox. It's true. And what better toolbox is a Rhoda toolbox? I ask you, the viewer. Everything else here is you know, it's pretty standard warrior. This looks like a, you know, this looks like a, this is, the rest of this just looks like a standard warrior list. I love it. You know, some people have decreased on their number of shoots main. I know some people are saying shoot, we are now exiting a shoot meta. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think the Pandora's box of shoot's utility is too strong to not main. Like I said, defense position kinetic. Oh yeah, of course. You hit that kinetic soldier, boom, big trouble card out of the way. I think we're going to be seeing shoots no matter what. And especially, yeah, I think we're going to be seeing shoots no matter what time zone, no matter what time frame we're in Go. You know, once we saw how useful shoot is main, like the past like 3 years or more, you can't close that box. You know, shoot is not like some quirky little sneaky tech. No, this is at this point like almost a staple. I think Tsukiyomi is so strong, you need dust shoes just to counter it. For warrior, yeah, absolutely. And also just gives you the hand knowledge is super important. You know, always going to be solid in aggro decks. I agree. Like, shoot is, the hand knowledge is massive. The being able to snipe whatever your opponent might have as a potential comeback card, or, you know, something that can stop your basically your pile up. You know, like the win state for warriors is when they're just able to just keep slamming and slamming and slamming. Sniping something that can stop that, like Tribe, is going to win you the game. And then also just knowing like, oh, he's going to have Mirror Force, I can just play around Mirror Force. That's just going to be so impactful that it's ridiculous. You know. The side deck is pretty standard for warrior, I would say. The needle sealing is interesting. I do like me some needle sealing. The Wangu. Oh, something about seeing Wangu and the Asura Priest. I kind of like the mix matching on your control sides there, buddy. I think it's super cool. Like, not just having two Wangus, not just having two Asura Priests, but mix and matching them helps you with you know, different game points. I would say. I think it's super sweet. I like the MOB. I like the MOB quite a bit. And then I also like that you're not siding against flips. I kind of like that. You know, Sentenza, man, he's like, the only flip I want to see is the spy. For very specific purposes. I'm not bringing him off I'm not bringing in Deco. Why would I need him off, dude? I'm just going to... What am I going to grab? Rhoda, dude? No, I'm going to just keep beating your teeth in. How about that? I'm going to keep beating your freaking teeth in. I like it. I also like the smashings as well. Here we go. Second place. Don't copy. If you can see this cute little World Championship logo I have up here, that means that this is a qualified list that got an invite from Don't Copy, rocking Decree Control. Decree Control, everybody. And, oh, I love this list. I was saying this earlier. This list is so freaking sweet. Is it really, though, Decree Control for citing the metas? Is it really Decree Control for citing the metas? Because, really, you know, we have 2 scapegoats, 2 swaps, main and calling it a day, which I think is super, super interesting. That we're not main decking the metas, but I guess that does mean that we're playing more. This is more similar to like Tomo. This might be more similar to Tomo Bis than Gut Control. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting that we're kind of using the scapegoats as like just battle traps that we can then convert into +1s here, you know? Well, maybe not +1s, but, you know, into just momentum shifters. I think that's really interesting. I should correct myself. This feels more like just a Decree Warrior deck, actually, upon further review here. More of a Decree Warrior deck than like a Decree Control, I would say. It's hard for me to tell. It's somewhere in the middle there. It's somewhere in the middle. We'll have to wait for Format Library to automatically designate a type. I do like the Mataza. Like I said, big fan of Mataza. I like the Lily. I like the double Assailant. I think Assailant makes so much sense in a list like this because it's, you know, who needs trap cards? Who needs spell cards when monster effects like DD Assailant automatically just does removal for you? It's able to apply the pressure, and then it has the eject button for when it's done. I like that. I like the Lily. I like the Gaff a lot. Gaff, pretty freaking strong here. I mean, it creates its own swap target by itself by going to defense. Well made. No surprise for Don't Copy. Don't Copy is one of the deck builders I've ever seen. I'm going to say that right now. He's consistently one of the best deck builders. So I would agree if you don't... I was going to call you Don't Copy. I would agree if you Madcap. Don't Copy is consistently one of the coolest deck builders because he's willing to definitely step outside of his comfort zone. And play what would be like... He's one of the few players that is very, very good, but is also willing to step outside his comfort zone and play something like this that he would call like a big meta call. A big meta call. And he kind of nailed it on the head. I mean, second place, you know, you can't really ask for much better than that. Dude, you saying, yeah, this is sick. I agree. I think all these lists are pretty freaking cool. A lot of them are pretty different, I would say. Yeah, how many of these have you really been like super copycat about? I feel like a lot of these lists are all pretty interesting in their own right in this top 8. It's pretty sweet. I love the double mob. I love the introducing the flips in the side here with the spies and the moths. I think that makes total sense. The triple mind cons I like because obviously a deck like this is going to struggle a little bit more against turbo. So introducing spies and like mind cons and stuff like that, changing the script around, I think is really nice. I think players will be more likely to the second opponent sees scapegoats, they're going to keep Nox in. I feel like 90% of the time, at least in my experience, they're going to keep Nox in because they're going to have the feeling of I think he's playing flips. I just didn't see them, even though their main deck looks like this. That's how I feel. It's always never like super hot. Let's go ahead and take a look at first place, everybody. And by the way, congratulations. Before I continue, I don't actually. Congratulations, Don't Copy, on securing your invite so quickly. This could be another big year for Don't Copy. What was it? 2024 season. Don't Copy had a killer run in like the first half of the season. A killer season to start off with. I think he accumulated, like, what was it? 4 invites? 4 invites within like the first half of the season. And then he took like a big break. He's just a machine like that. You know, he's definitely like one of the best players in the community. But he just doesn't. Sometimes he just takes big breaks and just steps away for like 6 months to do, I don't know, music. Makes cool music, by the way. I was going to take a look at first place here with J-Lu. Yes. Yes. First place, J-Lu on Earthcat. Earthcat. If you know me, you know I'm a big fan of the Earthcat deck. Oh, it's so freaking amazing to see. It's so amazing to see this deck in action. And not just in action, but also win. It won this whole shebang here. Look at the logo. You see that logo out there? That means this deck got an invite. J-Lu with Earthcat. You know, it's awesome to see this deck type win for the first time. I agree, Madcap. If you know me, this means a lot to me because I was a big advocate and grinder for this deck for the longest time. You know, if you remember 2023, you know, this deck was it? I think it was a PWCQ, right? That Danger Boss was having a pretty sweet run. No, actually, I think it may have been a major. Danger Boss kind of brought this deck out at the time. His was a lot different. It played like Swords of Feeling Light, didn't play the shoots. And then I was very impressed by what he was cooking up there. And then I kind of went with it. Me and him and I talked in DMs a lot about the deck. And then that's how I came up with my list. Did this deck have representation at the last GOAT Worlds? Absolutely not. Nobody was rocking Earthcat for the longest time. Earthcat, you know, is definitely the ugly stepchild to like cat variants. I would say it's definitely the black sheep, especially when compared to the more popular one of Cat Burn between the two the two children of Cat OTK. Off-topic question: is there a way to trade cards online? I'm 15 away from my deck list for competition next year. If you check out the marketplace channel on Go Format's Discord, you might be able to find people to trade with on the marketplace. If you set up like a thread. Some of these decks are good, just underplayed. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, like I said, in 2023, I was the biggest advocate for this deck. Danger Boss and I were the biggest advocates trying to push this deck to the moon as far as trying to get people involved with the idea of Earthcat. In my personal list, I didn't play the DDAs. But after seeing that replay, J-Lu's cooking. J-Lu's cooking deep with this DDA. I gotta say. He's playing all the good stuff. I think maybe... you know, there's a lot of goodies here, man. I love the shoots so much. I was a big fan, you know, I'm a big fan of playing shoots in this type of list because it snipes out all the problem cards. You know, snipes out spies, it snipes out game 2 Wangoos, it snipes out all this problem stuff, and then also you get the hand knowledge, so if your opponent can't bluff you. Is this list different from your 2023 list? It's very different. Back then, people, Danger Boss and a few others were playing Rats. I was playing Berserk Gorilla main. Here we're playing none of the above. He is playing. We are playing a very similar cat lineup as far as like cat targets go, though. Triple Milas, double Wombat, double Panda. I think is exactly what I was playing too. He's not playing the United We Stand, which is fair. I can understand why some people may think United We Stand in a deck like this is like a win more card. But I think the math does matter. The Sign Lily, of course. I remember talking about how Gigantes would work well in Cat 2022. Didn't have too well of an idea of how that would look, though. I think you just need an entirely different build for the Gigantes. I know I tried everything under the sun with this type of deck. I tried the Gigantes. I mean, I tried a list like this. I tried including the Berserk Gorillas, which is the one I kind of liked the most here. With Devil Panda, don't you risk running out of cat targets? Seems kind of risky. You hold it. You hold it to your chest. You have 5 targets. You have not 5. You have 7 targets. You should have a good amount, you know. Ultimately, all you need is for 2 cats to resolve, and you should have something resembling lethal. Kevin. United We Stand at the very least is a given to side for burn. Oh, don't get me started on siding it. Don't get me started on Earth Cat versus Cat Burn. I love that matchup with this deck because you have the United We Stand and you can pump out a fatty wombat, the biggest, plumpest wombat you've ever seen. It brings out Milas Radiance often, yeah. Well, you know. Yeah, 6 targets is pretty much always fine, so 7, you're for sure gold. Yeah, it only gets shaky when you hit 5. Realistically, it only gets shaky when you hit 5, and that's when you really want to do that's when you're trying to do some other things. And Earth Cat, you should be playing at least 6. At least 6. There's no real reason to be playing 5 targets in Earth Cat. It feels so bad when opening hand is like double Radiant. Yeah, but at the same time, you can, you know, especially if it's game 2, they've probably taken out their knocks. You can set your Milas, and that sets your grave up for Gigantes and stuff like that. You know, you can fuel up your grave that way. I've never seen Snatch Steal outside a main deck before. This is the second list that we've shown in the top 8 that does not have a Snatch Steal main deck. I personally do main deck the Snatch. I think it's just a really strong card. But I can understand why. I can definitely understand why. If you're interested in this type of deck, there's plenty of cat stuff on the GoFormat.com channel. Mostly with me and JDZ. And take you back to the past with that one. Gosh, I'm gonna cry if I look at those. But yeah. This is your champion right here. I love everything here pretty much. I will say though, I think we should include United We Stand somewhere in here. That's my one thing. I think everything else is pretty rock solid. Like I said, big fan of these dust shoots. They said in the interview with Cub that Snatch Steal isn't great versus CT. Fair enough. Fair enough. With that being said, congratulations to JLu. Congratulations to JLu. German, by the way. German player JLu. Once again, circling back to that initial story of Germans taking over the format. Can you explain why Snatch may be excluded from my friend that doesn't understand? Madcap just explained up above. Yeah. Giving opponent live point bad and burst/burn, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But still, if you're rocking the United We Stand, it's a different story. Because you can go Snatch United We Stand. Just go bananas. After the event, as you guys may may or may not be aware of, we do have the PWCQ ladder. The top 8 of the ladder gets an invite to the World Championship as well here. We exclude people that have invites from these, just so you guys know. So we can take a look at the standings here after our first PWCQ is finished. You may notice a couple people just have 1 point. You get 1 point for winning a Go Format Friday. Okay, so this is updated as of a few days ago. I think literally just the other day. So D-Day Merrick, Sentenza, Crash Volt, Ludi, Silver Flash, Pikatron, Killer, and Return Winner all have enough points on the board as of right now to secure an invite. Of course, this goes throughout the entire season. So I think it's by the time of like the last PWCQ of the season, which is like October, that's when we kind of wrap it up on the ladder, and that top 8 gets the invite. So right now it looks like D-Day Merrick and Sentenza in the lead with 10, followed by Crashwell and Ludi, and Silver with 8, followed by Pikatron with 8, and then Killer and Return Winner with 2. If you want to participate, if you want to participate in this ladder, all you have to do is participate in our events as we go on throughout the season. And then, just to kind of have some extra thoughts here about the PWCQ. Big thing is, like, again, 2 burn decks top the PWCQ right after Burn 1 Worlds, and right after 3 burn decks topped Worlds. What's going on here, guys? Why? Well, Crash Volt had some respect for burn. Let's go ahead and take a look back here at some of these lists, right? When Abla's second place gets you any points, seems like it should get you something. I know we have that somewhere. Give me 1 second, Madcap. I can actually get you the criteria. Let's see here. I know it was in announcements here. Steve posted it a while ago. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Is this the criteria? Yes, here we go. So it goes by like attendance of players. So I think for something like an Obelisk, maybe that might just be out of coordination with the Go Format Europe team. Because of course, I love Academy, but it's not really a GoFormat.com service. So this is like purely GoFormat.com events, Madcap. Maybe in the future we could coordinate something with the team over there. Burn is countering the Chaos Turbo decks, perhaps. We need a Go Control Resurgence. Hey, man. Goatsart. 2 control decks topped PWCQ. I'm a big fan of Control. It's one of my favorite decks. So these are current standings. And then, yeah, no respect for Burn. I think, again... I think people just aren't giving respect to these like decks that kind of just combo you and beat you up real good, real fast. Burn is one. RGT is another. I actually came in. If you saw my streams before, I actually said that RGT might have a good chance because I thought my thought process into PWCQ 81 was people were possibly going to overside for Burn, if anything. I thought people were going to either respect Burn or overside for Burn, and that kind of leaves an opening for RGT because RGT siding is on a totally different spectrum. They're both combo decks, but they're so different that they require two different siding plans. I personally ran into those who were... Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, the majority can be something, but in PWCQs, you have to understand variance at all times. You know how it is. Where can I see how many players participated? That's going to be up on the... well, I can show you. Let me pull up the bracket here. I think it was 64. All this info is going to be posted up on the format library very soon if it's not already up there. Actually, is it up there? Let me see here. I know we're kind of drifting off into the ether a little bit, but I'm actually not sure if it was posted up there or not yet. If it's not, we should have... Oh, yeah, right here. PWCQ 81. 64 players. Exactly. You can find all the info about PWCQ 81 up here at Format Library. Shout out. But yeah, I kind of came into... my prediction was that I thought... RGT was either going to win or top. I was kind of close. A combo deck that was not trap reliant did in fact win. Okay, I was kind of close. Okay, you know, they're totally different decks, but you know what? They're in the same spectrum. Okay, they're in the same spectrum. I'll say that much. You know, wasn't totally off basis. And then I think I did theorize that Decree was going to do well, and it did. Got second place. You know, people need to listen to me more, because I get things almost right. But no, as I was saying though, I think I thought RGT was going to do well because, you know, Burn and RGT are both combo decks, but they are so fundamentally different by design. They require two totally different ways, you know, two totally different siding patterns requiring different cards entirely because of just fundamentally how they are. And I thought people were going to be siding for Burn and they'll forget all about RGT. But I was totally wrong. People didn't bother with either. So so EarthCat won and Burn and two Burn decks topped. and one of the control decks that did super well was a Decree deck. So that's funny how that works. And then the second thought I had about it is, where's Turbo? Where are you at, Turbo players? Where are you at? I'm challenging the Turbo players. I'm asking for where your location is. I'm asking for where the Turbo player locations are, dude. I see all the time the Turbo players acting so above the nonsense that is, you know, aggro stuff. So above it all. You know, they have the 500 IQ is pouring out of their brain stems. Where are you at? The last Turbo player I saw was Danny Cassie at Worlds. On the cusp of topping for a few of them. Fair. That's fair. Oh, wait a second. Did I forget something? Give me 1 second. Oh, I did forget something. On the cusp of topping for a few of them. Speaking of topping, I do want to give out a deck of the week. I totally forgot to make a slide for this. I'm sorry, guys. Work has been super busy. But I do want to give out a special shout out. Where is the list here? Give me 1 second, guys. Oh no. Did I not make the deck of the week? I'm so sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second here. I was going to also have my deck of the week, and I'm going to have that happen. Just bear with me for 1 second here as I put together this image. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. My deck of the week is going to be Void's Water Control. If y'all have not seen this deck is freaking amazing. It is voids, Madcap. It is voids 100% here. I feel super bad. I totally forgot to make the slide for it, but I did want to mention it. This deck is so freaking cool. I love every single piece of it. If you know anything about me, you know why I love this deck so much. I love this deck so much. There's so much cool stuff going on with it, right? I mean, Double Abyss Soldier, Double Mobius. I'm a big... Double Mobius in main deck is so freaking base to me because this is something that people tell me to never do, but in the back of my head, I'm like, do it. Play Double Mobius. Play Double Mobius. All the time, I'm thinking about it. This deck got 9th. This deck got 9th in the PWCQ. It barely bubbled out. Never got to see Little Swordsman. Nice. Oh, I wanted to see that Little Swordsman catch a dub, dude. I love Little Swordsman of Ale. It's so funny, see some of these cards because I made a short back then where I was kind of ragging on Little Swordsman of Ale, but when a deck like this, it makes total sense that it would cook. I love it. I love it so much. This deck, every part of it to me makes so much sense for what he's trying to accomplish with it. So much so that I asked for a comment. I asked for comments from Void, and he had this to say, featuring him on my deck of the week this week. Let me go ahead and repeat what Void said here. I see Mobius Tribute, Thousand Eyes, easy plays. Yeah, Mark, that's a great way to put it. Shout out to Void, YGO. Again, I'm super sorry for not making the image macro. That is totally my bad. I completely fumbled the bag and forgot to do that. But Void had this to say regarding my deck of the week here with Void's water control. He says, I haven't touched the main deck at all since I'm pretty set on the way it currently is. But if I had to say something about it, it's that Minecon is super good. My main comments would be regarding the side deck. I think there's a lot of room for improvement, especially against control decks, since it seems like they're its biggest weakness. Excuse me. I'm convinced that a proper side deck is what it's missing from getting top 8 and beyond. Apart from that, I'd just like to thank everyone for keeping the Go community alive, and would like to see more people experimenting with water decks in the format. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. Void has been a long-time player of the format. He has a YouTube channel as well, and I am a big fan of his. I remember watching his stuff when I first joined the community, because I felt that he was always cooking up something real cool, especially back in the day. If y'all remember, he did like those elemental aggro decks. That was really freaking sweet. And he just tried making an aggro deck for like every attribute under the sun. But yeah, this water control deck, there's a lot going on here. If you know me, I'm a Tome Abyss fan, but I deeply respect the Grizzly. I deeply respect the Grizzly, guys. I gotta say, there's something here. There's something here. I agree with Void. I think there's something here. And that's my deck of the week. Again, I'm deeply sorry to Void for not making a proper slide of it, but it is what it is here. I think that is everything regarding PWCQ I wanted to talk about. I do want to just wrap up and say that, Turbo has to come out and play. I know early on in the seasons, Turbo typically doesn't do super hot. It might change, but I mean, where y'all at, man? Where are y'all at? These Turbo players act like they're 500 IQ. Where are they at? Not in top 8. Where y'all at? Upcoming events. Here we go. We're going to wrap up with some upcoming events, and then we're going to conclude the stream there. I want to say, first of all, thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching this with me. I'm hoping you guys liked it. Let me know if there was any issues you guys had with the stream or anything like that. I wanted to keep it a little bit more on the chill side today, because it's a Monday night, in their secret treehouse debating jog shoot races. Yeah, the Ouroboros theory that I had involving Turbo is totally real nowadays. We're going to finish up with some upcoming events here. December 13th, everybody, we have PWCQ 82 coming at you. Let me go back here. Noon Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central European Time. Come out and play if you want to get up in here. We're going to be doing the wrap-up as well right after that event's over, so you know how it be, okay? Let's see if we can go back-to-back double invites. Let's get 65 players, man. I'm hoping for everybody that's watching this stream to come out and play, or at least watch the stream. I won't be streaming that. Arts and Crafts will be streaming that. Shout out. Also in December, we had the Go Format Grand Prix. That's December 20th, 11 a.m. EST, 5 p.m. Central European Time. For those that are unfamiliar with the Go Grand Prix, it is a modified Go Format event. If you're interested in the modified Go Format, if you want to play something like Go Format, but with a different ban list, creating a whole different spectrum of decks that are playable, a whole different meta altogether, be sure to join the Discord at goformat.com and check out all the information involving MGOATs. And also in December, we have GCI Milan, Italy. December 21st in Milan, volume 19. I had to look a little bit closer there. If you are in Italy or in Europe in general, go ahead and check out the GCIs. It's usually some of our biggest events of the year for Go Format, so you don't want to miss it. And also for the Americans, March 1st, we have the Retro Reborn GGP Ohio. March 1st, everybody. Be sure to check that out. Ran by the Retro Reborn circuit. Shout out to Nick Collins. He's going to be on the Tooth Thursday in the near future. Wonderful guy running this whole circuit. More info can be found at retroreborn.gg. Be sure to check that out. And if you're interested in playing in that, we want to make this event blow up. We want to make this event go big. And I am extremely hopeful for the Retro Reborn circuit. If you want to support American Go Format, because I know we struggle quite a bit, partially because of Konami US policy, be sure to support the Retro Reborn people over there. Nick is doing great work, and I think he's pretty dope. Shout out. And for those in Mexico, we have GGP Querétaro, March 14th. You can find more info about that at retroformatarena.com for those that are in Mexico. And that is going to conclude it for me, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, be sure to like and subscribe for more streams. Thursday, there will be no Tooth Thursday this time around. I will be streaming, so to make up for it, I'll be doing the Go Format Friday this Friday. And then next week, we're going to be doing two Tooth Thursdays. Back to back. We have one on Thursday and one on Friday. So be sure to check all that out. More updates as they come along on the Discord and also on the YouTube channel. If you check the post section out, I do post there pretty frequent on everything going on. Love you all so much. Good night, Goat Format indeed.